Panic disorder relief. Now, as you guys know, over the past few days, I've been speaking about the different types of anxiety. 2 days ago, we spoke about generalized anxiety disorder relief. Yesterday, we spoke about social anxiety disorder relief. And today, we are going to talk about panic disorder relief. Now, panic disorder is a really extreme case of, I would say, anxiety. And people in this type of segment tend to really struggle. And there's no cure, like one fix all for this. It's more just of a long term thing and just, reducing the symptoms and the causes of these, issues that people with panic disorder tend to go through. As you know, today I do have my notes with me and I'm just going to go through the symptoms that people with panic disorder tend to go through. So, obviously, people with panic disorder tend to occasionally have, fear or panic. It could be at random times, and sometimes there's no specific reason. They just have a fit, and it is quite terrible. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason they have these fits or random panic attacks is because they've had an experience in their life where it caused them a form of PTSD, but sadly, it also caused symptoms such as, a panic attack, which is obviously wherein they can't control their body or their thoughts, and they just tend to, for 5 to 20 minutes, generally, they just tend to have a panic attack. In some cases, some people do have longer panic attacks, which can last up to 1 hour. And once again, if you are someone like this, my my heart is out there for you, and all I want to do is encourage you to keep persevering and keep putting in the actions that you can to eliminate these symptoms over time, or at least reduce them so they're not putting you in a bad situation or a worse situation. So the certain things that, people with panic disorder tend to go through is they tend to avoid certain situations. And the reason they avoid these certain situations is because they fear that they will trigger another panic attack. So if you, let's say you've gone to a wedding, or you've gone to a big gathering. I can't really talk that well. I've got my retainers in. But let's say you've been to a big, a big public space, and you have a panic attack. In the future, you're going to be scared or afraid or anxious to go to another event like that, because you don't want to trigger the panic attack again, because you know that in that previous event I had the panic attack. So if I go to another event like this, then I'm going to, have another panic attack. And I do understand that, and that can be the case. But like I mentioned in previous videos, the best way to tackle or to improve your anxiety is usually to be more in those uncomfortable situations. But whilst in that uncomfortable situation, you need to learn how to manage, control your emotions, control your breathing, control your body posture. Make sure that, you're not drinking a lot of caffeine prior to that, or sugary drinks, etc. You need to almost reform your mind, and it's not going to be easy. I'm not just saying, oh, okay, prior to this big event, I'm just going an hour or two before this big event, I'm just going to do everything Paul has said, and I'm not going to get this panic attack. No, it's more of a long-term thing. You have to progressively get towards that stage. So go to smaller link ups, see how you work with a smaller group of people, then increase that amount. Then slowly, gradually, you know what to do in those situations. So as you get to the bigger one, now you can fully prepare yourself mentally and physically and emotionally, so that you don't trigger the panic attack. Maybe you might just need certain people around you in these big events, just so, whilst you're in this situation, they can keep you calm, not get you agitated, stop you from taking certain foods or drinks or caffeine, just so you're less likely to have this panic attack. And also, if you do have this panic attack, if you have good people around you, they can, reassure you, keep you calm, and bring you back to a normal state. So, the certain types of symptoms that people with, panic disorder tend to go through is, of course, the first one is a panic attack. And this is essentially just intense mental and physical symptoms that just tend to occur for no reason. So people with panic attacks or panic disorder, they tend to just have a panic attack randomly. It's almost like nothing's happened, but their body tends to just respond in that way, in that shape or form. What are the types of things that people tend to, go through? What examples can I give you that people, what signs can we see on people that have panic disorder and are currently going through a panic attack, or, that have panic attacks? What are the types of things they tend to notice or, respond in a certain way? So the different types or forms of signs are, they tend to have a racing heart. And just to clear this up, any of the examples of the signs that these people tend to go through are not like, oh, just because you see this thing happening, that means you are more likely to have a panic, or you are going through a panic attack. No, it could be another thing, it could be something else. But these are just, people that tend to go through panic attacks tend to show these signs. So if obviously they have like 5 or more of these things, it's more likely for them to be experiencing a panic attack in that moment. So they tend to have a racing heart, so their heart rate increases. They tend to feel faint, so almost like their blood, is getting colder. They're lightheaded. They just feel like almost as if they're not there. They just feel faint, lightheaded. Body temperature could go from cold to hot, like rapidly, but they just feel faint. And with that, they get chest pains. So they can actually physically feel a chest pain, most likely because of breathing. They're not deep breathing, they're shallow breathing, therefore not getting enough oxygen to the heart. It could be other reasons as well, but I just think it could be because of breathing. They start to tremble. So physically, you can see them like shaking. It could be their hands, their whole body, but they just tend to like tremble. It's almost like they're losing themselves. But this is directly linked to the thoughts in their mind, and once again, their breathing. It could also be, a trigger from foods like sugary foods, caffeine, but they just tend to, start trembling. I've caught myself trembling in scenarios, but I never would class it as like a panic attack. I don't think I've ever experienced a panic attack. But I felt like some most of these things that I'm gonna mention to you, I felt some like one or two of them occur at the same time, but never like all of them or like majority of them. They tend to start sweating, so you can actually see they're sweating. Obviously, their body temperature starts to rise, which is terrible. Like you're literally sweating because of a thought in your mind or just randomly and you don't actually know why. That's terrible. Nausea. So they start to feel nausea. Once again, just a feeling in your head where like you actually feel like you have a headache, almost like unbearable pain in your head, similar to like a migraine. Nausea is never something I would like wish on my worst enemy. They also tend to have obviously panic attacks, which last for 5 to 10 minutes, and it can go on to be like an hour long. With obviously these panic attacks, all these symptoms are most likely going to be seen, and most likely this person's not in control, like complete control of their body. But having someone, or even if you can for yourself, to just remind yourself that these panic attacks cause no physical harm. So there's no like physical harm that can be done whilst going through a panic attack. There's no need for like an emergency ambulance to be called or anything like that. It's just something that will happen momentarily and will pass away. It's just a phase. What are the treatments for people that go through panic disorder? Now, I did mention in a previous video, well, the last two videos, that I don't truly believe that we need to take certain prescriptions or, medicines or drugs to fix or combat this feeling that a lot of these type of people tend to go through. But I'm not like I'm not medically trained. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you, oh, throw away your prescription, throw away your medicines. Like at the end of the day, if your doctor has instructed you to do so and you are happy with doing it, then by all means, like continue on in that path, and especially if it's helping you. But for me, truly, I do believe there are a lot more organic, healthier, more natural ways to like combat this situation, especially in the long term and also the short term as well. One form of this could be breathing and practicing deep breaths. I remember when I started meditating or practicing breath work or breathing exercises. In the beginning stages, I could barely like meditate or stay focused for 2 to 3 minutes. Like I remember I used to like watch a video and I'd do it for like 2 minutes and then I'd be like, oh, okay, that's enough. Like I'm tired now. I can't be asked. Then I'd just go watch some content or like some entertainment comedy content on like YouTube. Then gradually I started getting better and watching more content on that type of stuff. Then I could do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Probably the longest meditation I've done is 30 minutes. But I would obviously encourage, if you can push that, obviously start off small, over time increase it. But this will like massively help benefit your mental and physical health. Also your heart, your lungs will be so happy for you doing that, because this will actually improve the endurance of your heart and breathing, etc. So when it comes to times like where you're having these panic attacks, your lungs are fully prepared to like overcome this, event where you're having these panic attacks. Panic disorder is never something anyone wishes for. It's a terrible experience, especially having a panic attack. So the treatments for panic disorder is a therapist, having someone to talk to, that is should I say, that can uncover the certain traumas that you clog up in your mind, maybe a specific experience you had where, it formed PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. Yes. And in that scenario, maybe something crazy happened, like a car crash, maybe a family member passed away and you was there to experience it. Maybe you was hit as a child numerous times and shouted at, and that caused PTSD. PTSD can come in so many shapes and forms, but of course, when this does develop, you're more likely to, have these panic attacks in the future. And obviously, speaking about these things, telling someone else, opening up about them, and sharing that experience with someone else can like really help fix the situation, as opposed to keeping it all clogged up in your mind. Another way could be like writing things down as well on a paper, so you know all your problems, and then that's 50% of the battle done. So yeah, having a therapist. Obviously, I do have my Patreon, and I will be doing one-on-one consultation. I also wanted to, just do a couple free sessions for people, just so they can, experience firsthand how speaking to someone can really help. So if you would like, join my Patreon platform, and on Instagram, just send me a DM, maybe screenshot that, I'm a member. You don't have to like pay. You can be a free member. Obviously for my Patreon, like for my members. My videos will all be for the paid members, but you can still be like a free member, and occasionally I will make content for the free people as well. And if you would like to go the extra mile and become, someone that wants one-on-one coaching, or just someone to help them, create personalized videos, or give you tips, etc., like that I wouldn't usually just give to the public, then yeah, like I said, screenshot, or just drop me a DM on Patreon, send me a message, or just send me a message on Instagram, or even just pop a comment down below on one of the videos and just say, hey, I would like to undergo a free coaching session, and I'll be happy to do that for you. We can book a Calendly, and I'll book you in a slot and just help you, just to get you on that first, onboarding session. And then in the future, if you would like to carry on, then that's absolutely fine and entirely up to you. So therapy is definitely something I truly do believe will help you, especially if you go through, panic disorder. Another thing is, obviously, this is more like for if you really want to tackle the problem and like get a professional. You can. Well, I'm not saying that therapists aren't specialists, but seek a psychiatrist or seek a psychologist, and they can really like help target and fix the problems that you're facing in your brain. A therapist is essentially just to improve your emotional control, and then a psychologist is like actually like tackling the deep root problems in your brain. Maybe they might give you a brain scan, see where you're having troubles in your brain, and actually find the cure to that, and then in future hopefully would prevent you from having these panic attacks. Breathing. Breathing slow and deeply. So if you are experiencing a panic attack, always remind yourself, or always take action in breathing slowly and deeply, starting off with a nice deep inhale and a nice, letting it all go. Obviously, as you exhale, as you breathe out, it's more, your body is just calming itself down. It's natural. You're just letting go. Like when you breathe out, you're not like putting any force or like pressure on your body. You're actually releasing pressure. When you breathe in, you're putting pressure on your body. You're actually putting oxygen into your lungs, and you're putting that pressure in. So when you breathe, you're actually taking like a conscious decision. Obviously, when you breathe like passively without thinking about it, your body would do it naturally. But when you consciously like breathe in deeply, you're like actually putting pressure into your body, putting all that oxygen into your body, and then as you breathe out, it's just a natural. You're just letting go of the pressure that you've put in already. So breathing slowly and deeply if you are having a panic attack, and also prior or after. I think if you're just breathing deeply, slowly and deeply, you're preventing the cause of that panic attack, because you're letting thoughts happen naturally or come into your mind naturally, and you're letting them go as well naturally. So obviously, therefore reducing the likelihood of your body, being responsive with a panic attack. Another treatment would be to focus on the positive, or focus on positive and peaceful images in your mind. So just allow your mind to think about things that are, positive. Maybe you've had a nice experience in a fun fair somewhere. Maybe you're just thinking of being on a beach, lying down on a mat, staring at the sun with your shades on, and you got your like umbrella whatever they call it, that umbrella shade thing to stop the sun from like affecting your skin. You don't want to get like skin cancer from being in the sun for too long. But just, think of positive think of positive, peaceful images, and that will really like help. Even if you just tell yourself, think happy thoughts. I remember like recently, I was in a situation where I was almost falling into temptation. Not gonna say what or who with, but I was falling into temptation, and actually just told myself, think happy thoughts. And as I said that, I just brushed off the temptation and just went along with my day. And it really does truly help to just tell yourself to think positive. And then you might not think anything positive, but you'll just smile and just the word positive, just the word happy, just saying that in your mind or thinking that in your mind can just really help, get rid of those negative thoughts and actually allow your body to just think of positive things. So I know that truly will help me. All these treatments, some of them might help some people, others might help other people. Some might actually have no impact on you. Some might have a massive impact on you. So try them out and see what works best for you. I truly do believe like deep breathing is probably the most important one, because you need to train yourself consciously how to breathe properly, and that will calm your cells down, release oxygen to the parts of your body that need it. Because remember, sometimes the reason why you keep getting these panic attacks or anxiety is because you keep breathing only for your body, but you're not actually breathing, so your brain gets that oxygen as well. Maybe your brain has too much carbon dioxide. Maybe it doesn't have enough. Maybe it doesn't have enough oxygen. Maybe it does have enough oxygen. So it's just about that balance, and you want to make sure that you're giving or allowing your brain to breathe as well. Every part of our body has blood, and all this blood uses oxygen. So you want to make sure that you're taking these deep breaths in and out, so that your whole body is, filled with oxygen and can breathe and circulate properly around your body. Another treatment would be to remind yourself that the attack will pass. So just remind yourself, this will just last 5 minutes, this will last 20 minutes. Well, 20 minutes is probably extreme, 1 hour as well. But just remind yourself that this will pass, it's going to go, this is just momentary. And by reassuring yourself, you're more likely to, relieve yourself of the panic attack sooner rather than later. The more you stress or worry about the panic attack, like, oh my day, I see some people like go to extremes. I don't know, maybe that's how they are reacting to this, and that is like actually how their body is reacting. But I truly don't believe that like making or thinking worse of the situation will help you. Like thinking like you're literally going to pass away. Like some people, they literally think they're gonna pass away in that moment, and that's not the case. So I also did write that what you can do to prevent further attacks in the future. So of course, read and watch educational content on anxiety. This can really help, because then when you're in this situation, you know what to do to combat it. So if you're watching this video right now, like props to you, because you know what to do to prevent having those panic attacks. Or if you do get into those panic attacks, you know what to do as well. You know what places to avoid, what foods to avoid, etc., etc. You know how to like look after or manage a healthy lifestyle so you can avoid, these panic attacks. Just reading and watching educational content on the specific thing or problem that you're going through will massively like I watch and read content or books on how I can improve my business, on how I can improve my purpose, like making YouTube videos. I watch videos on that, and therefore like my speaking skills, and I've learned so much things. Like we'd be here all day if I was just here to explain that to you. But just imagine you did that with anxiety, and your problem is anxiety. As boring as it might sound, as boring as it might seem, you're actually learning, you're teaching yourself, and then subconsciously, when the time comes or arises, you know what to do. Not even subconsciously, just consciously as well, both consciously and subconsciously, because you've learned, you've applied the knowledge. Now all there is left to do is applying the action. A wise man, a man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistake of others. So if you read these books from other people's experiences, then when you have that experience, you'll be able to, overcome it easily. I truly do believe so. Another way to prevent further attacks is yoga and Pilates. Now, I don't actually do any of these, yoga or Pilates, but I think with these type of physical activities, you're calming your body down, stretching certain parts of your body, allowing that blood flow. It's a very calming, relaxing, should I say, activity to partake in, and therefore, of course, it would most likely reduce your anxiety. I don't have any experience in yoga or Pilates. If you do, drop a comment down below. Breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are a great way to prevent further attacks because you're calming your body down. I keep checking to see if my mic's going to die. They're both on like red bars, so I need to be like attentive. I don't want like the battery dying. But if you can practice breathing exercises, this will massively reduce your likelihood of getting a panic attack or increasing the chance of getting another panic attack because you're calm, you're in a calm state. And if you're doing this more often, you're more likely to remind yourself, okay, I need to be calm. I can tell my heart rate is increasing slightly, so let me take a deep breath. And usually subconsciously, if you keep consciously like doing deep breathing exercises, I've noticed throughout my day, consciously and subconsciously, I tend to just do like deep breaths like throughout the day. Like I just do that and I'd feel so much better. Crazy. Like I'd literally just do a deep breath throughout my day. It could be like a stressful situation. Maybe I've been working for like 2 hours and I needed a break. I just take a nice deep inhale and then I exhale and then I just feel a little bit better and I can continue with my task. Whereas if I was just to keep continuing, I'd be more stressed, more likely to, have a hot head and stuff like that. I've noticed a lot of people that are like hot tempered or hot headed that get angry easily. It's because they don't find means or ways to calm themselves down when they're getting, to a certain extent. It's like almost like, when you've used all your brain points for the day and now your gauge or your gorge is small, like your brain points are like at zero, or energy point, let's just say brain energy points, let's say you have 100 and you've used like 90 or like 99 of them, and now you've got like one or zero left. It's like you're almost fighting for more energy when you could just be calm, relax for a moment and then come back to the thing with maybe like 25, 30 energy points. So always remind yourself to just breathe, be in the moment, and then go back to what you was doing. I think this will massively help, as much as a lot of people brush this off, but I will literally talk about breathing in like every video if I have to, because I truly do believe that like breathing is just finding the technique, finding the time, and then taking the action. That's where most people struggle with, finding the time, finding the right breathing technique, and then taking the action, actually doing it, putting the minutes in. A lot of people struggle to put the minutes in to actually breathing, and that's usually where their problem lies, because they're not actually putting. They might watch the video, practice it one day, and then 2-3 weeks later they've completely forgotten about it. It's about the consistency, putting in the action, and then you'll actually see the benefits. Don't do it for like a day or two, see no benefits, or feel worse, maybe because you didn't do it properly the first time, and then now you're like, oh, I'll never do this again because I didn't see a fix. Like actually try it for a couple days or weeks, and if there's literally no significant improvement in your life, then now you can say, okay, I'll try something else. Maybe this isn't the thing for me. But actually try it. Like try do it for a week. Journal how you feel or like what your thoughts are after each experience and maybe before. And then make the decision, okay, this isn't like breathing isn't breathe breathing isn't for me. Like imagine how much of a loser you're gonna sound, like telling yourself, oh yeah, maybe breathing isn't for me. The most like paramount, the most like baseline biological thing to do. So stop being like a Stop being like a little cat. Stop being a cat and actually go try practice breathing, like some breathing exercises. If you want me to give you some recommendations, a great place to start would be Wim Hof breathing exercises, Andrew Huberman breathing exercises, Hamza breathing exercises. Literally just type in on Google guided meditation 10 minutes, guided meditation 1 minute. If you need an app to help you more with this, literally just type in on your app store Medito, Medito. Just type that in and go through the beginning like stages. Like it literally has a walkthrough where you can just walk through the videos from start to end. Obviously not in one day, but like you can just go through the beginning videos. I think the first video is like 1 minute. 1 minute, 2 minutes, I think. 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes. You're telling me you can't spend 3 minutes on the most important thing in your life. If that's the case, just quit this video right now. Stop watching this video and go fap or play games and don't worry about this situation because maybe you don't want to be helped. Maybe you just enjoy suffering. I'm literally giving you help, like actionable advice. So don't keep allowing your mind to put you off it and stuff like that. And commendations if you've actually watched this far. Like genuinely, round of applause to everyone. Round of applause to the people that are still here. And if you're at home, pat your back. Like if you're still watching this video, pat your back. So genuinely, guys, another thing you can do to improve or prevent further attacks from panic disorder is regular physical exercises. So I did mention in a previous video, I think the video yesterday, where I was talking about social anxiety. Obviously, in this situation, like maybe avoid social settings, but just practice regular physical activities. And I'm not saying like avoid social settings like completely. I'm just saying like get to a better like improve your health first, and then you can like start going outside. And you know what, just it depends on the type of person you are. Like if you know you're someone that will literally have a panic attack if you just step outside and meet people in the gym, then yeah, obviously avoid going to the gym. But if you know like, okay, it's 50-50, it might happen, it might not, then take the opportunity, take that risk. What the most that's gonna happen, you're gonna have a panic attack. Like I said, there's no like, it's not gonna cause you any physical harm. It's not like it's an extreme situation like scenario. Like I've looked up on NHS, like it's literally not like some like crazy thing that if it happens you're literally gonna pass away. And that's not the case. So actionable step: go outside, take some physical exercise. It could be a walk, it could be going to the gym, it could be partaking in a hobby like a sport, table tennis, badminton, volleyball, ice skating, roller skating, whatever suits you, whatever you prefer to do. But go partake in something that is a physical exercise and do it regularly, because that will improve obviously your health. Less like if your like cardiovascular system is good, you're less likely to have these panic attacks. Also, it's good for your mental well-being as well, therefore less likely to have these anxiety panic attacks. So go take some regular physical activity exercises. One, for your health. If you look good, you feel good, less likely to have an anxiety. And then also you can be socializing with other people as well, therefore decreasing the chance of having a panic attack. Because you just realize, how hard was it for me to just come outside and speak to this person? It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to go outside and speak to that person. It wasn't that hard to go to the gym and do some physical exercise. Maybe speak to the person beside me. Hey, how you doing? You're looking good. And then that's it. Oh, can I use that machine? Blah. Easy. It's not as easy, guys. I know, I do understand. Having a panic attack, having panic disorder is very difficult. I'm just trying to make light out of the situation. And like I said, my heart is out there for you guys that do experience this. And the hardest thing on my list, the literal hardest thing, because I know I'm going to mention this and a lot of people will click away. avoid sugary drinks, avoid sugary foods, avoid caffeine, stop smoking, as these all make panic attacks worse. So I'm not saying stop completely. It's your life. You choose, you make your own actions. I'm not judging you if you do decide to continue doing some of the things that I mentioned here, but they will make your panic attacks worse. I would say limit it, like just sugary foods in general. Like just replace them with foods that are, sweet. Like I love cake. I love, sweet things, but I've replaced a lot of them for like sweeter alternatives. So like strawberries, plantain, just things that are sweet, bananas. If you like a certain icy cake, like cake that has a lot of icing and stuff like that, replace it with like a banana cake or like a carrot cake, and then you're just eating less sugar and actually improving your health. And still treat it like a treat. Don't eat this like every night for dessert. There's like healthier alternatives. Obviously the drinks. If you're drinking like Lucozade or like fizzy drinks, avoid that. Maybe fruit juices, limit that to like a cup a day, maybe in the morning. Just like limit, and then eventually like replace with something else. Obviously drink a lot of water. Caffeine, if you know you have panic attacks, avoid caffeine because it just does something to your body. It is good for you, like caffeine in small amounts is good for you. Like 1 to 2 cups, 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours after you wake up is usually good. But like people that drink coffee at night, like come on, like you're literally asking for a panic attack, and then they'll put like 10 spoons of sugar in it. So like I said, you make the action, and then on top of that, just to add on to the tea, literally coffee at night and 10 spoons of sugar, and then they'll use like condensed milk, like the sweetest milk you can use, like like literally, what are you trying to like end yourself early? So remember, you choose your decisions. Don't let the negative thoughts or negative experience that you've encountered in life force you to just start eating unhealthy. Because a lot of people, they have a bad experience and then they go make their situation worse by like eating unhealthy to like, sugarcoat or make themselves feel better, when realistically you're just making yourself feel worse. It might just taste nice in that moment, but you're doing your body a disservice. So therefore, like limit or reduce. And if possible, like, if you still want to eat the sweet things, just replace them with other things that are still sweet, but like less risky. Just reduce and replace, pretty much. Just reduce and replace, because I do understand it's not going to be easy to just completely eliminate drinking sugary foods, drinks, caffeine. Same like smoking. If you know you have to stop smoking, reduce and replace it with something else that can benefit your life better. And if you can't stop it, just reduce it. Reduce it maybe once every week, once a month, once a night. If you was doing it, like some people do it like every day, like multiple, like they go through a whole packet of cigarettes in like one day. 12 packs, 20 packs, like in one day. 20 packs in one day is crazy, guys. That is not good for your health. Limit it to one a day, maybe two a day, two cigarettes a day. I don't know. I'm not like, if you can completely eliminate it, but if you know you're addicted and it'll cause you stress if you try to stop, just reduce it, and then over time, because if you try cold turkey, you're just gonna put yourself in a worse like mental state. I've done cold turkey with so many things in the past, and it's always better to just reduce the amount. Maybe change your environment. Like if you know you keep getting vices in a certain like place, maybe your bedroom, your house, your garden, your, I don't know, wherever you walk, and you start doing these things, like the sugary foods or the smoking. Like if you know you're getting a vice for being in this certain area or like place, change the environment. Even if you just make the environment look different, you'll be less likely to continue doing these things. Also, if you know you want to stop doing these things, make it harder to take these things and make it easier to get the things that you've replaced them with. So obviously, all this was from a book called Atomic Habits. So I would highly recommend you to read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he goes into like better detail on how to stop habits and make other habits easier, and how to make the bad habits harder, etc., etc. So guys, that has been my list. Hopefully someone has found some help from watching this video. Make sure you check out my Patreon. The link will be in the bio or description. Genuinely, I truly do believe if you come on a one-on-one consultation with me, I'll truly change your life. I'll be there for you. I'll stick with you. But also watch these videos as well. Like, learn from other people that are experiencing the same thing. And in return, I truly do believe you will never have anxiety again. It's been your boy Paul Khadar. I love you guys all. We out. Peace.